Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to go over something really critical for a lot of shooters out there. It's a way to validate data. Data in long range shooting is everything. Everything. And so I don't have a chronograph, just like most of you probably don't have a chronograph, so I don't know what the speeds of my bullets are sometimes. I guesstimate and then I true my data based on known distance engagements. So what we're going to do here today, I'm going to figure out the feet per second of my 6.5 Grindle. And the best way to do that, one, reconfirm your 100-yard zero. That's easy enough. If you've got a good, decent group, then what you do, then you're done. Then what you do, you take that target, move it out, or you move back to 300 or more yards. Make sure it's a definite known distance. That's where a rangefinder comes in handy. Make sure it's a good, reputable company. This is a Vortex Razor 4000. Super accurate. Verify your distance, okay? Then shoot a group uncompensated. Don't touch the scope, don't hold for correction, anything like that. Send it out there. What you're gonna do then is measure your drop and then get on a ballistics calculator, play with the feet per second until you can figure out what that, or match that drop rather. When you match that drop, you've got your feet per second. I would say, in my experience, I've been doing this for a few years, it's about 90 to 95% accurate. Nothing beats having a chronograph. So I'm sure somebody out there is like, oh, you're totally wrong, you need a chronograph. I agree, you need a chronograph, and that's actually on my very short list, probably within the next month. But I'm more interested in shooting. And so I've got places I can go out and confirm my data, true my ballistics and things like that. A lot of people don't. But if you have a 100-yard zero and a 300-yard potential area to shoot, you can get that dialed in. And so I'm gonna send some rounds down range. I'm not gonna bore you again like usual with me shooting. There's nothing spectacular about it. I think I mentioned it in another video, but if you see a patient in the medical world and there's nothing really to report, we call it unremarkable. My shooting is unremarkable, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll have you join me down at the 100-yard, then we'll go down and place it at the 300, then we'll do that again, and I'll check back with you in just a minute. All right, so I did my 100-yard grouping. I am now at the 300 yards, and shooting there, I moved the target. I didn't move my shooting position. And so that's the group I got at 100. I am shooting a little high, but I have known that for the last couple of outings that I've been out on. And so I will adjust that after today. But now I'm going to aim here, look for the drop and measure it, then play in Strelok, the app that I use, to guesstimate to the 90+ percentile my feet per second. And so here, totally pulled that one, but that's right about an inch, roughly. I jerked that one. Like, I was still settling my eye and I jerked it, so I'm still okay with that. I will be more careful on my 300-yard group because the mistakes in my 300-yard group are going to be magnified 3 times. And so if I can pull a 3-inch group, I'll be happy. I'm shooting about MOA right now with my Grindle, and I'm still under 200 rounds, so I'm pretty happy. I have a steel target right here behind the paper target, but I put 5 shots on here a while ago, right in a row, and I'm right at 3 inches at 300 yards, so I'll take that. Not sub MOA, it's right at MOA, but you know what? I am $399 into the upper receiver for that gun, $200 for ammo, and $250 for a scope. I'll take it. So let me show you guys where I'm shooting from, so we have some perspective. I know, this is a horrible shooting location. Right up there, there's a little flat spot, and that is where I'm shooting from. So with that, have you guys join me after I'm done shooting, unremarkable again, and then I'll have the data ready and show you the data, show you my drop, show you my shot group, good or bad, and we'll go from there. See you in a minute. All right, so we got done at 300 yards, but I brought the target out of the sun because my solar panel is overheating. So we got a good shot group at 300 yards, but I did some data on my 100-yard shot group, my 300-yard shot group, and on the drop. So given that, my 100-yard shot group measured 0.87 MOA. That is the first sub-minute group that I have intentionally mostly shot at 100 yards with this Palmetto State Arms upper in 6.5 Grindle, and that can be seen here. And then what we did when we went out to 300, this was my aiming point right here in the center of this black. My shots impacted on the bottom of this center target, which was wonderful because I was able to see the impacts. And so the 300-yard shot group measured at 0.43 MOA, 1.41 inches. I'm extremely happy with that. I generally shoot better at 200 and 300 yards than I do at 100. I think I get target panic because I'm more of a hunter instead of like a precision shooter. I got people, and I've seen people online, you know, I know that I'm gonna shoot a hole in a quarter. Well, that's great. I'll shoot the hole around a quarter. You know, that's kind of my mentality. As long as I can hit my targets, I'm good to go. And so that was really nice. 0.43 MOA at 300 yards. 16 power Bushnell Nitro scope. It is a little gusty today, so I was really happy to keep those shots close together, but I know at 300 it doesn't push them a whole lot. And so given that, I went over to my Straylock app and I accounted for the increased height on my shot placement on the 100. I accounted for it at the 3, and so I will need to make that adjustment in a little bit here, but then I added that adjustment into my drop. And so that gave me 16.8 inches of drop. But if I plug in my number for feet per second at 2,550 feet per second, that gives me a 17-inch drop. I'm going to stick with that number. I'm probably at the 90 percentile answer here. That's going to give me the drops that I need. I'm hitting an 8-inch steel at 400 yards with that number that I just tried out. And so I was pretty happy with that number. But that's how you can go in and true your data to your rifle, to your scope, to your dope, whatever you want to call it. Like, I know if I'm aiming here, I hit here, I can measure that. As long as I get a good group, I can adjust for that, and now I have data that I can work with. And it is, like I said, about the 90 to 95 percentile, depending on how good the groups are. If you shoot a 0.4 MOA group at 300 yards, use that group. That's a good group. And so with that, I've got data now. I'm gonna look for a new area. I'm up in the mountains still. I love shooting up here. I would rather shoot here than anywhere else. But I'm gonna look for a new location where I can shoot 5, 6, 7, 800 yards. True some more data. That will help me with that. And then within the month, when I get my chronograph, I'll be able to make sure I get the accurate muzzle velocity that I'm looking for. But until then, I'm gonna get out and shoot. I'm super happy with these results. I really couldn't be happier, and it's a beautiful day to shoot. 73 degrees when it's hot in Colorado. Oh my gosh. But there's nothing going on out here. There's a frog in the marsh right over there. There's a couple of ducks. It doesn't really get much better than this. So hey, get out there and shoot. Get out there. Get better. Be a better marksman. You owe it to yourself for your protection. You owe it to yourself if you're a hunter, and you owe it to the animal if you're a hunter. And so get out there, practice your trade if this is your trade. If you want it to be your trade, subscribe. I'll make sure we post some more about shooting positions, all kinds of different things. I'll be doing some reloading pretty soon. And with that, stay tactical.